Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between the cracks.
Hello, everyone. It is time for Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined today by our very own, I was about to say, wrong predictions, but that just seems wrong at this point. So, joined by our very special co-hosts here, Ryan Splash Potts and Mathias Kurosaki, my main men. How are we doing on this fine opening day?
Alex?
Yeah, what's up?
If you're saying we're wrong, and I saw your predictions, and I saw the overlap.
Fair enough.
Did you intentionally make wrong predictions here?
I mean, no, I intentionally made only correct predictions because that's what I am. Always correct all the time. So
darn. You have the Rockies in third place, by the way. I don't know what planet you're on, but
look, Planet Home Run, baby. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm just excited baseball's back.
Baseball!
I mean, seriously, obviously, it's because, after the Super Bowl, obviously the NBA regular season's still going on, but, then you get to this point where it's March Madness starts, baseball starts, everything's happening at the same time. So, yeah, this is, I'll be at Citi Field on Saturday afternoon. With my dad, my brother, and my nephews. So, I'm just excited to be back at Citi Field. I wish it wasn't. I wish the forecast looked a little different. It's going to be about 70 degrees tomorrow for opening day. It's going to be about 40 degrees on Saturday. So I will be bundled up. Those hockey jersey giveaways they've done over the years are going to come in very, very handy.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to be going to tomorrow's opening day. I'm going to the day after that because that is the pennant giveaway here, the pennant replica, which I've been wanting to see a banner come down for a long time now, and they're doing a replica thing for it, and that is going to go right up on my wall. I'm not 100% sure where yet, but we will find out, maybe right over there. But anyway, regardless, I'm also extremely excited because today, non-baseball news, it has now been announced, it has officially been voted on that the cities of Seattle and Las Vegas will be getting an NBA franchise, which means the Seattle Supersonics are back, baby! They'll be here pretty soon, at the very least. Yes, Splash, what do you want to say?
Okay, with all due respect to the Sonics and your fans, why are we expanding an NBA league that has a third of the league tanking?
Yeah, that's fair, but at the same time, I don't care about that.
But
I don't care about that. I care about, but we have the Sonics back, baby!
That's great. They should have just moved a team there. They shouldn't have moved the Thunder out of the team in the first. Okay.
Yes, correct.
The original sin was the original sin. NBA, you're stupid.
This is a baseball podcast, by the way. So,
Danny Ainge crossover.
Nice.
Bang.
Very, very good. Bang.
Also,
anyway.
Michael Jordan with the Birmingham Barons.
Exactly.
I mean, you're not wrong, as much as maybe history wants you to be wrong. Anyway, regardless. But aside from all of that here, with today being opening day, we have a tradition here on Losses Above Replacement. We have been doing our weekly rankings of the best position players going into 2026, including pitchers, all that fun stuff here. We made sure to time it exactly right. So then today, on opening day, we will be giving our actual full predictions for everything. Here, we are talking not just the first week. We're talking about having the full divisions predicted, the playoff seedings predicted, as well as some awards here that we will get to as well. And it's going to be hard to try to contain into one show, but we are certainly going to try. So all of us have come together, and like I said, we predicted how each division will shake out, the playoff seeding, and the entire bracket all the way through the World Series, as well as the MVP, the Cy Young, and the Rookie of the Year. 3 of them for each league. It was like, excuse me, for each award. So then it's not so much like that's going to be our 1, 2, 3. They are going to be one of them is our person, and then the other 2 are ones that we think would be close runner-ups as well. So, gentlemen, before we get started with this, were there any spots that you had that were particularly difficult to work through here, or any spots that you're just like, okay, I could really move these 2 teams?
I'll say most of the American League was very hard to figure out. I think I had an idea who my division winners were. Picking the wild cards were a little tougher, and in the National League, just trying to I was confident in 4 of my picks. The last 2 wild card spots I thought were pretty difficult to decide on. It's a very top heavy league, so really, I think picking division winners wasn't all that difficult. I think it was the final playoff teams that were harder to pick.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Some behind the scenes. I probably made my first round of predictions back in February, and the American League was pretty much the same the entire time. The National League I had to change like every 5 minutes. Just like if there was a player that got injured, chances are they were on a National League playoff team, and chances are I moved them out of the playoffs. Looking at you, Cincinnati, looking at you, Atlanta, looking at you, Milwaukee, when they made was it the Durbin trade? It's like drop them out, drop Cincinnati. At a certain point, it's like, am I going to put the Rockies in the playoffs? No, so I had to go back through, reconfigure. So we're trying our best here. I actually had a lot of trouble picking like MVP because you want to give shout outs to guys, and you're like, okay, yes, Judge exists, yes, Witt exists in the National League. You have Soto, Acuna, Ohtani. It's like, yeah, could I just pick those 5 guys and then like one random guy in the American League? Like, yeah, I could do that. That would be pretty boring. So you run out of names at a certain point because you want to be semi, reliable here. You can't just say, Bobby Witt sucks. Aaron Judge sucks. Paul Skeens sucks. So that was probably the toughest part for me was getting down to 3 names that I felt confident in, that just a blend of what I think will happen, what I think could happen, not really what I want to happen, because these are, if it was what I want to happen, it would be Drake Baldwin winning the National League MVP. He is the best catcher in baseball. Sorry, Mac. Sorry, Alex.
Incorrect, but go off, King.
Yes. He is hitting the ball at like 110 miles per hour every single time. So, yeah.
I mean, but does he have a nickname like Hal Bally?
Halle Berry?
No.
He has Rake Baldwin. That's pretty solid for a hitter.
Yeah, no, that's a solid name. Yeah, I like that. It's a good nickname. But nothing close to Big Dumper, though. Anyway.
I mean, fair. But it's about his on-field performance. Not his off-field performance.
Yeah. And
Bazinga.
One of them has hit 60 home runs in a season.
And one of them won't hit 60 home runs in a season.
You mean one of them won't?
I don't think either of them will. I would be shocked if Drake Baldwin hit 60 home runs this season.
I'd be shocked if Baldwin hit 30.
I don't know.
I mean, not like shocked, but I would be like, that would be a heck of a milestone.
It's tough for catchers to hit 30 home runs. Although Drake should get some DH time given the jerks and profar of it all.
Yeah.
And that is the extent of our Braves conversation today.
No, there'll be more. Don't worry. Anyway.
No, I've seen our graphics. There will not be much more.
There's going to be at least a little bit.
Will not be much
We'll see about that. All right.
We will see about that. Anyway. Here. So, honestly, let's just get right into it here. So, let's start here. Oh, yeah. What's up, Splash? Oh, I just need a little second on it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I got StreamYard is giving me eye cancer right now.
No worries. Anyway, so we'll keep it here then just for a sec. I'll talk about kind of my view on this. I felt like the hardest one to do was Rookie of the Year for both sides, because I feel like there are some it's very top heavy in the National League specifically here. Because in the National League, you have guys like in my opinion, the front runner, spoiler alert here, pitched for Team USA. Like, okay, cool. If you're good enough to represent your country, and that country made it to the finals of the World Baseball Classic, and they trusted you with the final game, like, I feel like you're pretty good. But I don't know.
Decent.
What's up?
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, on the American League side, I felt like I was really trying hard not to just go with the athletic people, because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, they're not rookies, I guess, anymore. But there are definitely some good names here that I will be very interested to see what they do going forward here. All right, Splash, you all good to go? We got everything, or we need a little more time?
Yeah, I'm finishing up yours. But...
Okay, sounds good. Other than that, I'm going to do. There we go. Thank you. I wonder who did make the slideshow. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah. So we have a little bit of another upgrade on our production value with actual PowerPoint presentations, slideshows by our very own Splashathy.
Yes.
So this is going. I will say though, as I was doing my predictions, I started getting an odd sense of deja vu. Just because, like, while I was doing a lot of them, I just kept feeling, okay, wait a minute, something. Why does it feel like I've already done this? And then I looked, I'm like, oh, there is a lot of carryover from 2025 here.
I was going to say, I almost felt weird. Like, was I just regurgitating the playoff picture from last year or my predictions from last year? And there are a lot of similarities to last year's playoff field. I mean, I feel like the contenders mostly look the same. So you probably will see a lot of similarities between last year's playoff picture and what we think will happen this year.
Yeah, it's going to be like, because, okay, kind of like what you said a second ago, the National League specifically is very top heavy. Here, you have the Dodgers, and then there's the rest of the end of the National League. Like, not to be rude to everyone else, but yeah, the Dodgers are very good. Does that mean they're infallible? No. Here, but like, you definitely have like some of the super teams in the National League. On the American League side, it's a lot more up for grabs. Here, like you said a bit ago, Mac, I had my like division winners pretty well picked out here, but then the wild cards, I just kind of had to go with, okay, who's going to at least put in the best effort from there? And again, you have to look at the American League East specifically, because that division is powerful. Here, now with you having the Blue Jays, who arguably stayed the same here, like they had a few additions, few subtractions, most notably, Bo Bichette, but they replaced it with Okamoto, and again, some other moves on the pitching side of things, but they're still really good, and they did make the World Series last year. Here, and then you have the Red Sox, who really overhauled a lot of things and have arguably one of the top 3 to 4 pitchers in all of baseball here, leading their pitching staff. And then you have the Yankees, led by Aaron Judge. And we can also never fully count out the Rays. The Rays are a team that finds way to defy all levels of expectations here. And then there's the Orioles, ... And I feel bad saying that about them, but
well, I mean, we'll get into this later, obviously, when we talk about the AL East, but the Orioles had a solid offseason. They went out,
absolutely,
got Pete Alonso. I know that their pitching staff is still like questionable, but I mean, a lot of people are picking them to go far this year. Which I don't know if I quite see that, but
Splash, I'm gonna have to stop you there real quick here. No. This is the year the Mariners are good. I would like to direct your attention back to 2027, as like 2025.
2027, wow.
2027 is crazy.
Yeah,
that's my shtick, buddy.
From making the World Series, where were the Braves at? Oh yeah, in the hospital.
At least the Braves have been good during the course of this podcast.
Yeah. So have
they've been all right.
Okay. Are we prepared? Are all of our
let's wrap.
Am I already gonna have an aneurysm here? Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So American League, a lot of teams to look through here. Splash, I want to go, since you put these together, I do want to make sure that I have the order correct here. What division should we start with?
I mean, it's the AL East. We
Fair
are
enough.
we're part of the baseball media. We have to cater to the American League East. Sorry. And we have to discriminate against the NL West. So it will go AL East, AL Central, AL West, NL East, NL Central, NL West, like God intended.
All right.
But
All right.
not but intended.
Shall we rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
All
Okay,
right.
so we'll start with this. Like this is Splash's list.
Yes. Maybe I should have delineated between our lists. They're all the same. That's okay. Yeah. I have the Yankees winning the division, getting back on top. Last year they won 94 games, and the common refrain in the offseason was, well, the Yankees didn't do anything. They brought back the same team that won 94 games.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You're going to get Cole back at some point. You're going to get Rodon back at some point. You have other pitching injuries. Luis Gil's starting the year in AAA. I think Will Warren is going to be back at the second half. They really overhauled the bullpen, and I'm not saying that Camilo Doval and David Bednar are better than Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, but I am saying their performance for the 2026 Yankees will be better than Williams and Weaver for the 2025 Yankees. You like Jazz? I do. You like Judge? I think Ryan McMahon's going to have a better season. I think Ben Rice could be a top 5 first baseman this season. Austin Wells bounce back season. Maybe you get something out of shortstop when Anthony Volpe returns playing shortstop as a healthy player. Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham. I like the archetypes there. Grisham walks a ton. Bellinger caters to the situation. He gets his A swing off, he gets his B swing off, he gets his C swing off, and that can be the difference, between hitting 280 and driving in 100 runs and hitting 240 and driving in 80 runs. So I like the Yankees in this division, followed by Toronto. I think it's a really talented team. I think they were a little bit over their skis last year, a little bit of the chemistry shtick. I think Boston's very good. Am I 100% sure who's going to play, second base? Marcelo Meyer, figure it out, buddy. What are they going to do with Jarren Duran? I still don't know. Maybe you play the whole season with them. I don't know. I have the Orioles in fourth. I think they've made some moves. I still have my questions about the pitching staff, but the hitters should be a lot better. Reminds me a lot of the what I thought the 2024 Braves would be. And then the 2024 Braves crapped in my face. And then the Rays I have bringing in last place, but I think they could be a 500 ball club.
Yeah, that just shows how powerful that the AL East is, that for you, the last place finishing team in this division can still be a 500 team. Like that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the pitching fares for Tampa. They're moving back to the Trop this season. By the way, Junior Caminero did not make my MVP ballot. Unfortunately, he's going to hit like 45 home runs again, so he might be. Who knows?
Well, could be.
All right, Mac or Alex?
Let's go to Mac's list.
Yeah, I'll go next. As you can tell, I have the same 4th and 5th place. And to Splash's point, this is a really good division. It's a really deep division. It's probably the deepest in the majors. So just because I have these teams at 4th and 5th doesn't mean they're bad teams. I really think the Orioles, like I said, I think there's no way they can be as bad as they were last year. If they get a healthy season out of Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday will be back at some point. They're going to get a full season from Dylan Beavers and Samuel Basayo. And if Adley Rutschman is healthy and, producing, I think there's no way they don't, win fewer than 75 games like they did last year. The Rays are also super talented. It's just, I don't see how they stack up with the rest of the division. The Yankees, I think, are a good team. They're talented. The lineup, I think, scares me a little bit here. Outside of Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm, and Ben Rice, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton needs to stay healthy. He can mash, yes, but I'm not really expecting Trent Grisham to hit 30 home runs again. I'm not really sure what to expect from Cody Bellinger this year. There's just, who knows what's going to happen with the shortstop situation. Is it going to be Anthony Volpe when he's healthy? What can they get from Anthony Volpe? What about Jose Caballero? What can they get from Ryan McMahon or Austin Wells? There are just too many question marks in that lineup. I do like David Bednar a lot as their closer. I think their bullpen, I think Bednar and Doval getting full seasons there will help a lot. And I think the rotation is beat up, but they're incredibly talented. The Yankees are in third. I think they're a playoff team. The Red Sox, really high on the pitching staff, led by Garrett Crochet, who might make an appearance later in our awards section. I think the bullpen, I don't know if Aroldis Chapman will be a 1.1 ERA again, but he's still really good. And the lineup, I'm really looking out for a full season of Roman Anthony. I think he's going to have a monster season. He's probably going to be the best player on the team. He might be one of the best players in the league. So I think this is a great roster. I wish they had a little more power in the lineup. That's the one thing they're really lacking. They lost Alex Bregman. They traded Rafi Devers last year. And the Blue Jays, on one hand, I feel like they might regress a little bit. I'm not sure if I expect George Springer to have a 160 WRC plus again, but the crazy thing to me is they had so much success in the regular season despite not having Vladimir Guerrero Jr. performing at his best. I think Vlad Jr. is going to have a monster season. He got that contract. We saw how great he was in the postseason. I think he's going to be the best hitter on the roster this year. And all around, I feel like this is a solid top to bottom 1-9, led by Guerrero. It's a solid team. I know they lost Bo Bichette. I like Kazuma Okamoto a lot. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be Bo Bichette, but I think this is a well-rounded lineup. And then the rotation, I know Savage is beginning of the year on the IL, but it's basically the same rotation, that got them so far last year in the playoffs. And then the bullpen's a little scary, okay? But I think Jeff Hoffman's going to bounce back. We saw how good he could be in the postseason. So I think they're probably the most complete roster here. So I have them winning the division.
Yep, I'll go next here on mine. And let's see here. Is this one's mine, right? Okay, cool. So, yeah, my thing is that I have the Orioles in last purely because I can never put the Rays in last place anymore. I've done it way too many times, and then they go and somehow win the division. So it is purely for that reason why they are in fourth. Do I think that the Baltimore Orioles are a better team? Yeah, I do. I think that they've made a lot of good moves. And again, an underrated one that I don't think people are talking about as much anymore is when they got Taylor Ward here for Grayson Rodriguez, and now Rodriguez is already hurt again. So they basically got something out of nothing. So good for them. I like the additions that they've made here. I just don't know if it's enough to compete in a division that is this deep. That's the main thing. I feel like if you took the Orioles right now and put them in, let's say, the American League Central, they're winning the division potentially. There's a chance. Are they winning it? Probably not, but they're definitely not going to be fourth or last. Let's just be very easy on that. Tampa, again, I just can never bet against them here. Drew Caminero is going to hit 1 billion home runs, and that's all there is to it. That's all you need from them. I think we can all agree here that first, second, and third in all of our lists are basically interchangeable. Like any of them can win this division. I went in the order of Toronto winning it, Boston taking second place, and the Yankees taking third for a few reasons. I'll start with the Yankees here. They are still a very good team. Again, last year, won 95 games, and on top of it, they brought back most of their main players here. Not all, but most. So that is a recipe for success if you started with success, which they have. My main issue with them is that they're a very top-heavy lineup. Here, you have Aaron Judge. You have Jazz Chisholm, who I love him. I think he is a very, very good ball player. I do wonder if we're going to see the good Jazz Chisholm this year again, because we have seen him fluctuate it from time to time. Here, though I do think now that he's surrounded by a lot better lineup than he was in Miami, I think things will be just fine. Ben Rice, again, I've talked about Ben Rice before. I'm not the biggest fan of him here, but I still think he does a lot of good work on that lineup here, considering that the rest of the lineup, there's a lot of question marks here. You are now hoping Giancarlo Stanton is healthy at his age when he's been very injury prone. Grisham, I like him. Walks a lot. Cool. Good. Anthony Volpe does not deserve to be anywhere near a baseball field. So good for him there. Or basically, if you go onto Twitter and just look up the term Anthony Volpe, it's just going to crash out saying there's an error. But anyway, after that here,
sounds like it was a swing and a miss there.
Just a little bit. But anyway, Boston is such a strong team on top of it. They have, in my opinion here, the second most complete team overall, but they have, where the Blue Jays have the most complete team overall, the Red Sox have the highest upside, I think. Especially when you take a look at, again, their main ace here in Garrett Crochet. If he puts together a year like he did last year, and again, the guy's still young, he can get better from here. You're looking at a guy that's going to be challenging for the Cy Young every single year, which is just nuts. Plus, on top of it, their offense leaves a few question marks, but it still has a lot of top pieces, a lot of strong pieces. I went with the Blue Jays at number 1 because I still feel they are the most complete team of this entire division. They definitely have a few holes. The starting rotation isn't incredible. The bullpen isn't incredible. The offense, pretty darn good here. I mean, when you have arguably the best first baseman in baseball and arguably the top 5 catcher in baseball, and then you have a bunch of other positions that have done extremely well, including now an outfield that feels almost rejuvenated with these new outfielders that they've had working, especially one Addison Barger, who's really burst onto the scene. I feel like the lineup has a lot less holes than any other team here in this division here. And that, I think, will carry a team a lot more than, say, like what the Yankees have right now. But that's a me personal opinion thing on this. I legitimately could see any of the top 3 teams here winning it. And I think we can all say that to some degree here. Like, I don't think any of us would be surprised if, like, the Red Sox won the division by a game or 2, or if the Yankees won the division by a few games. The only situation that I feel like would get weird, aside from, Tampa Bay or the Orioles winning, is a blowout. I think that this is going to be a division that will come down to the final 2 games of the season. With that, let's move on now to the American League Central here. So we've all made our picks for the top here. Let's move on to the Central. Splash?
Sure. I'll go with my Central first. I have Detroit getting back on top of the division. They blew the 15.5 game lead last season. Shocker. Cleveland, I think, comes back to the pack just a little bit. They have lineup depth questions. What a surprise. You have Jose Ramirez. That's great. What else are you giving me besides Jose Ramirez? Bo Naylor's okay. When is Travis Bazzana coming up? Kyle Manzardo hits a bunch of home runs. Not exactly a well-rounded hitter, but, he provides power. I'll give him that.
My boy, Manzardo.
Stephen Kwan's going to play center field, apparently. Okay. I mean, he's a great left fielder. He's played like 5 games in center in his life. Okay. He's
won a Gold Glove every year he's been in the majors. Surely moving his position is a great idea.
Great idea. Right field, I might as well play right field, man. This is like the Giants and left situation. Every year it's a bad player. Doesn't matter who it is. If they had Aaron Judge, if they just signed Aaron Judge and had him play right field, he'd put up negative 1.3 WAR inexplicably. I don't get it. Chase Stolater, can you play baseball for more than a month without breaking? I don't know. The pitching, when I was making the graphics, when I'm doing the Power Pros work before I got sick again, which is stupid, regardless. It's like, who's the best pitcher here? They're all fine. They're all like B's and B pluses. I'd rather have a Cade Smith graphic than a Tanner Bybee or a Gavin Williams. I'm just not moved. I am moved by the Royals. I think the top end talent is there. They have more depth of top end talent. You have Bobby Witt, you have Michael Garcia, you have Cole Reagans, you have like Lucas Ursek at the back when Carlos Estevez is throwing 82 miles per hour in the middle of spring. Might need to fire him off into the sun. Seth Lugo, Michael Waka, he pitched in the WBC too. I think Carter Jensen could be in for a big year. Kyle Isbell playing defense. Lane Thomas, welcome to the club. Jack Caglione, World Baseball Classic hero. Maybe he cooks. And a bigger World Baseball Classic hero, Vinny Pasquantino. Maybe he cooks. I think the Royals should be somewhere between where they were in 24 and 25. White Sox and Twins. Minnesota, get in the corner. Just get in the corner. I'm not going to talk about you. Get in the corner. Chicago, there are some players I kind of vibe with. I think Murakami should play 150 games. let Luis Angel Acuna steal a bunch of bases and maybe pop a couple homers. Chase Mydroth can hit a little bit. The catchers, when Kyle Teal comes back, he should hit a little bit. Edgar Caro should hit a little bit. I like the pitching a little bit more than they should, probably. Instead of being like 25th, maybe they're 23rd or 20th. They have some grown men in the bullpen. That should help. Sir Anthony Dominguez. Colson Montgomery hit a bunch of homers last year. I don't know how sustainable that is, but yay, he's there, and he played a pretty reasonable shortstop. Andrew Benintendi, he's a grown man. Good for him. Miguel Vargas, he's a grown man. Good for him. I think they'll be better than the Twins.
Yeah, I mean, I'll roll into my AL Central. I also have the Tigers winning the division. And the thing is that on paper, the Royals should probably easily be better than the Guardians. The thing is, the Guardians just like find ways to win the last few years. I don't know what it is. Last year, I thought the Tigers and Royals were both more talented than them, but they somehow, out of nowhere won the AL Central again for the third time in 4 years, which is just, I don't know how they keep doing it. Stephen Vogt just has some magic pixie dust. I still think the Tigers are the best team in the division. And honestly, I don't really think it's that close. I really like that they added Framber Valdez to be a number 2 behind Tarek Skubal. If they brought back Justin Verlander for a little, I don't know. I don't even know if I can call it a victory lap, but he comes back.
Swan song, maybe?
Yeah, swan song. That's the better term here. I think the lineup can produce. Riley Green cuts down those strikeouts a bit. Kerry Carpenter learns how to hit lefties, maybe. But no, I do think the lineup is talented. I think Torkelson showed a lot of promise last year too. Plus, Kevin McGonigal is on the opening day roster. I'm so hyped to see him play. Huge AFL season, huge minor league season last year. Like I said, I think the Royals are great. The Royals have a ton of talent. Like I said, something weird about those Guardians. They have that pixie dust right now. Look, beyond Jose Ramirez, I'm not sure who produces in that lineup. Beyond Cade Smith and Gavin Williams, I'm not sure if I trust a single arm in that pitching staff. But look, they're going to find ways to win. And to Splash's point, the Twins, I don't know what to say. I feel bad for Byron Buxton, but at the same time, he's the one who's not waiving his no trade clause right now. So he clearly wants to be there. He loves the city of Minneapolis. So good for him, I guess. The White Sox, though, I do think the White Sox, there's reasons to be excited here. And it's not just because the Pope is a White Sox fan. It's because Colson Montgomery hits dingers. So does Munetaka Murakami. Kyle Teal, it's a shame he got injured because I think Kyle Teal is going to have a great year when he's on the field. And to your point about the pitching staff, Shane Smith, excited to see what he could do in his second year. And Sir Anthony Dominguez will be closing out games until he gets traded this summer. So the White Sox are marginally better than the Twins.
Yeah. So let's go into mine real quick here. And mine looks pretty similar to someone else's here. But I'm going to be honest here, and I honestly feel bad saying this. On my list, I'm like, okay, I know who my number 1 and number 2 are. I know who's in last and technically not last. I put the Guardians at 3rd because that was the only open position. They're not as good, in my opinion, as the Royals or the Tigers, but they're infinitely better than the White Sox and Twins here. So I felt bad because I really do like this Guardians team. Legitimately, I like Bo Naylor, who doesn't love J Ram, but legitimately still somehow one of the most underrated players in the game, even though he's one of the best players in the game. Like, it still boggles my mind that people keep forgetting he exists. And also, can't forget the GOAT, the legend in Kyle Manzardo, my absolute homeboy, gonna be hitting dinger after dinger after dinger over there. I like them. The problem is they're in this just swell that is right in between 2 elite teams and 2 horrid teams. I'll start with the horrid side first. The Twins don't exist. Like, it's still funny to me that in their logo, the letters that are underlined are WIN, which is good. That makes sense because that's what you need to look out for because you'll never find it on their baseball field. You will never find them actually winning on the field. Again, I don't know what you're expecting with Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton as your only players. Those are your only players. Sorry, not sorry. The White Sox are better than the Twins because the Pope is great, but also because, they also added Munetaka Murakami, who I think is going to be a lot of fun. So I think Dominguez is going to be really good until he's traded somewhere else, and then he's going to do really good over there too. There's not much to say. It's really not that hard to be better than 0, which is what the Twins are here. But then you get to the top of the division. The Tigers are very good. Do I think that Andy Framber was an incredible move that's going to save the team? No, but it will help them, I think. We'll find out. I mean, it really just depends on how long it takes before Framber Valdez and Dylan Dingler have problems. But we'll see. From there, the entire lineup just is so much fun. The entire lineup is so much fun to watch here. And now the fact that you also have a guy that is the leader of your rotation, the leader of your team, and he's pissed off because of the arbitration that he finally got the vindication that he needed from the arbitration system on this. So now he's going to say, okay, this is my contract year. I'm going to ball out. You are not going to pay me, and I'm going to be the highest paid pitcher in the history of the game. That's what we're going to see from Tarek Skubal this year. And then the Royals have some incredible talent. Legitimately, Bobby Witt Jr. is the best shortstop in baseball. Like, there's not even a question to me on that. You would then also have Vinny Pasquantino here, who, again, really proved himself during the WBC. Jack Caglione did well during the WBC. Here, Cole Reagans is a really good pitcher as well. I think they're really good. It is going to be a dogfight, though, for the first place in the AL Central. So, actually, real quick, while we're here, let's take a quick second for Splash's question of the day here before we move on to my division, the American League West. All right, Splash, hit us with it.
How do we feel about opening day only being available on Netflix?
I hate that.
Don't love it. Just going to say it. Nothing against Netflix or the people they got to broadcast the game. That's just, come on. Give us some local television too, please.
Please, yes.
Rob Manfred, I know you're making a lot of money here. Please run some laps. Just run some laps.
I will say one of the funniest things I did see about it, at the very least from all of this, was they're having a whole bunch of like Netflix associated stars throwing out first pitches today and being on the broadcasts. The Hand from the Addams Family is apparently throwing out a first pitch here. Like it's animatronic, all that kind of stuff, whatever. It's on a skateboard. And the top comment was, still will have less errors than Anthony Volpe this year.
Oh!
Ouch.
I'm like, damn. You know what? That's fair.
They do be like that.
They do, in fact, be like that.
All right, Alex, would you like to kick us off in the AL West?
I would absolutely love to kick us off because obviously the Seattle Mariners, your 2025 American League West champions.
I think you're burying the lead, buddy. I think you're burying the lead.
Am I burying the lead?
You're burying the lead.
What lead? There's no lead here.
Yes, there is a lead.
What's the lead? Like
it's in West Sacramento.
Born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days.
Something like that.
Close enough.
Yeah. I get to talk about my Mariners first, okay? I will. You know what? Fine. You know what? Screw it. I'll come back to just gaslight myself even harder here. But no, the Oakland Athletics, I think, have made some incredible progress.
They are not in Oakland anymore, buddy.
Close enough. Same idea.
I will say it because I want to.
We need to fire the graphics person.
Yeah,
they're not in Oakland anymore.
Yeah, no. The Athletics have some of now the best young players in the game. They really turned a lot of heads back in 2025. The Astros have not done as well. They have started to falter a bit more. The Rangers have lost a good amount of their pieces. Here, yes, you still have Wyatt Langford, you still have Corey Seager, you still have Jacob deGrom, but how well is deGrom going to stay healthy? He did last year, and it was amazing to watch. How long is it going to take? And yes, it has to be said that the Angels are there. But legitimately, because of all of this, I was making my rankings for this. I had Seattle obviously at number 1, But I was looking at number 2 and number 3 between the Astros and Athletics, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is biased, but I like the Athletics makeup a lot more this year. I think just as a team, they seem to work out just a little bit better. Again, maybe my bias is starting to show out a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think it's too much of a question that the Seattle Mariners are the best team in this division currently. They are the most complete team, one of the best, not just bullpens or starting rotations, one of the best pitching staffs in the game of baseball right now. And they have made big strides on offense. Here, yes, you lost Eugenio Suarez. You got Brendan Donovan to replace him. It's like, do you have issues at second base after losing Polanco? Yeah, but you also have Cole Young, who has been hitting mammoth homers during spring training, and Colt Emerson is on the way here as well, too. And then your outfield is looking very strong on top of all of that. The American League West, it was easy for number 1, easy for number 5, and then 2 and 3 were, honestly, I had to have that a bit of a revelation.
Yeah, I'll go over to mine. I like Texas more. I think they can really pitch. DeGrom, Eovaldi. I like the Mackenzie Gore edition. They gave up 5, like a quantity over quality package to go get Mackenzie Gore. And I trust them to get the best out of Mackenzie Gore. I think he will be an all-star this season. I think DeGrom will be awesome for the 150 to 170 innings he pitches. I think Eovaldi will be awesome for the 130 to 150 innings he pitches. Does Texas have a bullpen issue? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point. But I do think they're going to hit better. And Globe Life has played tremendously pitcher-friendly, especially as of late. But I think you trade away Marcus Semien and you lose some defense there. I agree with that. But I think Brandon Nimmo is a better hitter. Wyatt Langford could be an MVP candidate, not like an MVP 8 kind of guy, like someone that's on some down ballots. Evan Carter, the plate discipline is still there. He can still play a solid center field, and he needs to hit a little bit more. Josh Young needs to hit more. Jake Berger needs to hit more. It's a bummer that Sebastian Walcott is out for most of the season, if not the entire season. I like the catcher duo with Higashioka. I just think they have a higher floor, and I like the pitching a lot more than the A's, and I like the pitching even more than Houston. And comparing the A's and Astros, the Astros have better pitching. I mean, duh. Anyone has better pitching than the A's outside of the Rockies and Nationals. But I love the A's lineup. Langoliers, Kurtz, Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, I think, will have a bounce-back season. Jacob Wilson, the 2002 version of Max Muncy. Maybe he takes a step in the right direction. Maybe we see Leo DeVry by the end of the season. Jeff McNeil, I think he could have a good season in a minor league ballpark, more of a getting back to the basics, like when he won the batting title back in New York. Denzel Clark, maybe he hits some home runs and plays great defense, and he has a 2025 PCA sort of season, 25 homers, 25 fielding runs. That would be a great season. Are they going to have issues pitching? Yes, but I think Luis Severino, he's a veteran. I think he will put some of the comments he's had about Sacramento behind him and will pitch better. I'm not as high on the A's as I was last year, but I do think they will be better. And I think they could be a 83 win team. I think Houston's going to be around 500. And I think Texas is more like an 85 win team.
Yeah, I'll go into mine. The Angels are in last. I mean, there isn't really a lot to say there. I like Zach Neto a lot, and I think Mike Trout can, have some type of renaissance, maybe get closer to like an 850 OPS, 900 OPS maybe. I really wanted to put the A's higher. They have the best lineup in the division. Their pitching staff is a disaster. I mean, really, I think it'll improve slightly, but as much as I wanted to have the A's in my playoff picture, I couldn't really include them. The Rangers have a great pitching staff. That lineup really, really lacks depth. Wyatt Langford's great. There are a lot of question marks around that team. The Astros, I think people are kind of forgetting the Astros are still pretty talented. I think Christian Walker's going to have a bit of a bounce back. I think Isaac Paredes, if he's healthy, will have a big year again with those Crawford boxes. You get a full year of Carlos Correa, a full year of Jeremy Pena, assuming he stays healthy. Altuve can still hit a bit, even if his fielding ability and speed has declined. And the bullpen is a strength, I think. Rotation did lose Valdez, but they still have Hunter Brown. They added Imai. So I think the Astros are a better team than people realize, but I still think the Mariners are clear cut the best team in the division. This year, I don't think it's as much of a discussion. They have the best rotation, I think. They have the best overall pitching staff in the division. They have a great lineup. I think that has really improved. So yeah, I think they win this division running away with it.
I would love to see that. Yeah, I do find it fun that we all had one similarity, and that was that you had the Mariners in first, the Angels in last, and then the other three are just kind of
everything
shuffle
else.
off the deal. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So with that being said here, I'm surprised I'm the high one on the Athletics. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
It hurt me to be the low guy on them. It's just I don't trust that pitching staff.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. It's going to be real weird when we get into our playoff race here. Which, speaking of,
all right, let's get into it.
It's time to get into the playoff race here, and these are the overall here for it. I believe, this one.
Yeah, this is Max.
So these are mine. So Mariners are going to be my overall 1 seed. Jays second. Tigers third. Red Sox wild card 1, Yanks wild card 2, Astros wild card 3.
All right, Alex.
Yep. So I have a bit of fun with mine here. So yeah, Mariners are my number 1 far and away here, with the Blue Jays being my number 2, Detroit being my number 3, my number 4 seed going to the Red Sox. To the Red Sox, with the Yankees being the number 5 seed, and just edging out here for the last one. I think the Oakland Athletics actually make the playoffs this year as the 6th seed. It is going to be close.
Yep.
They called me a madman.
You know what? That's fine, because they've been calling me a madman for a lot longer.
All right, and here's mine. I have the Yankees as the 1 seed, M's as the 2 seed, Rangers as the 3, or Tigers as the 3 seed, Blue Jays, Red Sox 4-5, and then the Texas Rangers or Tejas as the 6th seed.
Yeah, I see. We have 5 teams that we all picked to make the playoffs. It was just finding that wild card 3. We all picked an AL West team. It was just a different team.
You know what? That's fair. Again, shows that the AL West is actually pretty deep overall.
Yeah.
Like, not as deep, I would say, as the American League East, but they got some good teams.
And the Angels.
Yeah, you got some great teams that I can't help to stress that the Angels are in fact there.
I wanted to put the Angels in 6th place because Artie Moreno doesn't think winning is a top 5 priority. Maybe the Seattle Pilots or the Kansas City A's. Colt
Can we have the Cleveland Spiders come back and beat them out?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right, I'm going to hop into my playoff predictions. AL wildcard. Bang. We have the Blue Jays over the Red Sox. We have the Rangers over the Tigers. ALDS, I have the Yankees over the Blue Jays, revenge from last year. And I have the Rangers over the Mariners.
Wow.
I don't think the Mariners are going to score runs at Globe Life. Sorry, pal. I have my glorious king, Austin Wells, ALCS MVP, as the Yankees' exact revenge on the Rangers from about 15 years ago in the ALCS. And then we're going to go, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Mac, your playoffs.
Yeah, so I got the Red Sox taking down the Yankees, Tigers taking down the Astros, and then let's move on. Blue Jays will take down the Tigers. The Mariners will down the Red Sox, setting up a rematch, and this time the Mariners come out on top. Julio Rodriguez gets the ALCS MVP he should have had last year. Mariners win the American League pennant.
All right, just making sure again, because I'm the host today. Splash is getting real close to being booted off the stream. No, kidding. We'll go into mine next year. I have the Red Sox taking on the Yankees in a rematch from last year in this same exact spot, I believe. And the Red Sox come out on top this time here. It will come down to that final game. And then I have the Tigers that will end the Cinderella story of the Oakland Athletics. The pitching just will not be able to sustain them. They are going to get one cheeky win, though. Then in the ALDS, I have the Tigers actually beating over the Blue Jays here. It will be a very close matchup here. This is one that will go back and forth. And this is probably going to be a little bit of a surprise. I think they're going to find a way to make Trick Skubal pitch 3 times in this series.
I can see it.
That's a bold prediction there for that. And then the Mariners, I think, will take on the Red Sox, and it will not be that close. They will get one win in Fenway. Seattle wins it the rest of the way. Here. And then in the ALCS, we are getting a rematch of the ALDS from 2025 here, where Seattle will take on the Detroit Tigers, and Seattle will advance. I think I did not actually put the end on there. My bad. Here, I said it was going to be 4-1 here, with Josh Naylor being the MVP. And to add a little extra, that over the course of the series, we'll have 7 stolen bases.
I can see it, maybe.
I don't know if that passes the vibe check from Devin Dingler.
Dylan
Dingler.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't matter about that point. Naylor knows how to get the right jumps to where it doesn't matter how fast
he just kind of moves.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, looking at it now here, we have 2 people picking the Mariners to make the World Series. One person picking the Yankees to make it to the World Series. I really thought about making the Yankees go farther, but then I thought about how funny it would be if the Red Sox got the revenge from last year, and I just kind of went from there.
Sure.
All right.
Shall we dive into the National League?
Let's dive into the National League, your
guys'
main area of expertise.
Yeah.
So let's start out. Mac, how will you start us off here in the National League? We'll go into the National League East.
Yeah, let's go into the National League. So I'm just going to get those bottom 2 teams out of the way. The Nationals are in a second rebuild somehow since trading Juan Soto. And the Marlins, they did have some firepower in the second half last year. They can't keep up with the top 3. I have the Phillies in third. Look, the Phillies rotation took a bit of a hit. They lost Ranger Suarez. Zach Wheeler's coming back from thoracic outlet syndrome, and he's in his mid-30s now. That rotation it's not as strong as it was last year. Granted, Christopher Sanchez is still great. Jesus Luzardo, I think, is still really good. They still have Aaron Nola. Andrew Painter, I don't know what to expect. The lineup is incredibly thin outside of the Harper, Schwarber, Turner trio. I mean, Alec Boehm is hitting cleanup. I'm sorry. Does not move me. Here's the thing. So the Braves, I have in second. The ceiling is incredibly high. The floor is incredibly low right now. I am going to trust the ceiling of the Braves compared to the floor of the Phillies, particularly because even with how banged up they are, that Braves offense is still going to score a lot of runs. I know the pitching staff is scary. I mean, I'm talking about the rotation. It's a 36-year-old Chris Sale leading the rotation that's already battered. Bullpen's great. I really think so. Iglesias and Suarez at the back end, it's strong. But the Mets, I think, are the most complete team in the division, and it's not just me being biased here. They added Freddie Peralta to lead the pitching staff. They're a more complete roster compared to last year. They have better defense with Luis Robert in center field. They're going to have Bo Bichette playing third base, which is going to be interesting. Jorge Polanco playing first. Basically, anyone has better range than Pete Alonso. So I think top to bottom, the bullpen scares me a little bit, but top to bottom, I really like this Mets team compared to the rest of the division.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it here. Let's go into mine here next here. And Marlins and Nationals 4-5. Again, this is bad A and bad B. That's all you really got to say on this. Although I will say with the Marlins, again, they do have some fun firepower, which honestly, this is going to sound kind of like heresy. They could take third from the Braves this year.
They did that last year, by the way.
I know, but then when it comes to the Braves, though, I don't think you're going to be successful when your IL pitching staff is better than your playing pitching staff right now. Your starting 5 that are just solely on the IL completely wipe the floor with the starting staff that is currently their starting 5. Kind of like the argument with the Athletics. If you really want to bank on their offense being the absolute juggernauts like they could be, cool. Good for them. The problem is you then have the Mets and the Phillies ahead of them. And the Phillies, yes, they took some hits, are still one of the strongest teams out there that it feels impossible to try to bet against them. I've tried betting against Bryce Harper, not literally. And it doesn't work out too well here. But then you have the Mets that are, to echo the sentiment that Mac had, the most complete team in this division here. They have a lot of great offense. They have some pretty darn good pitching, especially in the starting pitching department. The biggest issue I have for them is defense here, because here's the main thing that I think people aren't really talking about as much as they should here. Jorge Polanco does not play first base. He was a second baseman here. And on top of it, Bo Bichette's not a third baseman. He was barely a shortstop here. So the corner infield is going to be very sketchy, so to say here. I want both of them to do great because I really like both players. It's just about, is the defense going to match up enough to the offense? But even then, regardless of that, even if their defense is below subpar, right? They will still be strong. They're still going to be the best team in the National League East.
All right, fellas. Okay, folks, boys and girls. The Nationals, get it together. Just get it together, man. The Marlins, I like some of the pieces. Jacob Marcy, cool. Cool. Owen Casey, cool. Nice addition. You trade Edward Cabrera. He'll feature prominently here in a moment. Augustine Ramirez, can he catch? I don't know. Connor Norby, figure it out. I'm blanking on the other outfielder who had an all-star. Kyle Stowers was awesome last season. Will he continue to be awesome? Are the Marlins going to look at extending him, or is he going to be another trade piece in a couple years? Can Sandy have a good year before he walks? Is he going to get traded halfway through the season? Yuri Perez, what's he going to do? What are these other arms going to do? It feels like every arm is either injured or about to be traded. So I just don't think the Marlins have a very high ceiling right now. I don't see I made an analogy a couple years ago when they traded Arise. I said, if you close your eyes, if you're Kim Ng at the time and you close your eyes, how many players can you see on the Marlins' next World Series winning team that are on the current roster? I don't think there's any. The Braves. This is a case of the season being 162 games. In a smaller sample size, I would probably pick them over the Phillies. I would probably pick them over the Mets. I like the condensed pitching. I like, in theory, the October pitching. If you go Sale, Schwellenbach, and then like a Strider, maybe, I don't know. I truthfully don't know about Spencer Strider. I don't know. Strider, Holmes, once through the order. I don't know about Ronaldo Lopez at this point. Maybe you get development from J.R. Ritchie, who had a great spring. Didier Fuentes had a phenomenal spring. And I really like the bullpen. I think there's great depth. I think the Braves know how to get great action out of the bullpen. You've had Pierce Johnson in years past. He's in Cincinnati now. You had another Colorado reliever that came in who just threw up a bunch of zeros. And he's the sixth inning guy. You know, he's part of your B bullpen. Your 7-8-9 of Lee, Suarez, Iglesias. I don't think there's many teams that are better. Maybe you would take a team with a Duran or a Diaz or a Miller. But I think the depth of that is great. And I think when Chris Sale starts, the Braves are going to be a juggernaut. If he makes 30 starts, the Braves should go like 23-7. Like, they should be awesome. And when you don't get like a blow-up outing, when you don't get 6 earned runs from Bryce Elder or co, they're going to be really good. The problem is I don't trust the 2 through 5 in the rotation. And I don't trust Atlanta as of right now to try out the J.R. Ritchies and the Didier Fuentes. I know Fuentes is in the bullpen to start the year. Maybe he's on the 22 Strider arc and goes a month in the bullpen before they unleash him in the rotation. I hope it works better than last year, but I really like the lineup, but it's a lot of contingencies. It's a lot of, is Michael Harris going to walk a little bit more? Is Ozzy Albies going to hit for a little bit more power? Is Mauricio Dubon actually going to hit lefties? Is Mike Yastrzemski going to carry over what he did in Kansas City to Atlanta? Is Drake Baldwin going to continue to grow? Is Matt Olson, Matt Olson's probably the most consistent player in baseball. Austin Riley, can we get back on track? Ronald Acuna, can we be healthy for 140, 150 games? So in theory, the Braves could be the best team in the National League. I would pick them over the Dodgers in a 7-game series with full health. That's just, it is what it is. But over 162 games, I think they'll finish third. Phillies in second, Mets in first. I have issues with the Mets pitching staff. I am going to pump the brakes on Nolan McLean being the best pitcher in baseball. Sorry, Mac. Sorry,
what?
Mark DeRosa.
Are you sure about that?
I'm just tapping the brake a little bit. Can we pause? He was really good. He sucks against lefties right now. Can we pump the brakes?
That is true. Yes.
Can we
He's
pump the brakes
learning.
just a little bit? When Matt Olson takes him 700 feet in a couple weeks, can we pump the brakes? But in all sincerity, I think the Mets just jostling around the core. I like the upside a little bit more than Philadelphia. We know what Philadelphia is. They're going to win 90 games, and I think they might make a deep run of the playoffs. And the Mets, maybe you jostle it around and you get some higher end outcomes. Maybe you get a bounce back from Robert. Maybe Bichette's better at third than short. Maybe there's a bunch of maybes there, and there's not really any maybes with Philly, but there's a higher ceiling. So I'll take the Mets over the Phillies.
That tracks.
And we move to the NL Central. Cardinals join the Twins in the corner. Pirates, figure it out, bozos. Reds, I want to pick the Reds. I picked them to make the playoffs last year. I was correct. I actually picked them to win the division last year. That didn't happen. I'm just depressed. It's like being a Braves fan, kind of. It's just Hunter Green, hurt. Rhett Lauder was hurt last year. Ellie dealt with injuries the whole season. Can we be healthy, please? Brian Hayes, can you hit a little bit? Brewers, I honestly wanted to put the Brewers in 18th place. I don't want to pick the Brewers. I don't like the Brewers. I don't think the Brewers have a good baseball team, but they're going to win 85 games to make the playoffs. It is what it is. The Cubs, I think they're one of the highest ceiling teams of baseball. I really like what Bregman brings intangibly. I don't really care if he's a 120 OPS plus guy, not an MVP level player, but just a good player. I think he will be an additive force to the rest of the lineup. Michael Busch, can he hit some more lefties? Alex Bregman can hit lefties. Maybe Alex Bregman helps him out a little bit. I know the opposite swings, but maybe the tells and things like that of things to notice when you're facing a left-handed pitcher. PCA, I wonder if he's going to feature later in the episode. Edward Cabrera, maybe he's good at Wrigley. Imanaga, what is he going to do? Justin Steele, when is he coming back? Kate Horton, garbage, overrated bum. Seiya Suzuki, maybe he will feature later in the episode. I don't know. Moises Ballesteros, is he going to hit? I like the Cubs this year. I'm not usually one to be, fond of the Cubs, but I like the Cubs this year.
Yeah, and I'll go next here. I have the exact same order. I wanted to put the Pirates higher, if I'm being honest, but that lineup just I like the additions of Brandon Lau and Ryan O'Hearn. It is not enough to move the needle for me. The Cardinals, sorry guys, the Cardinal way isn't really going anywhere right now. If I'm being completely honest, they're in full rebuild mode, and they're going to dive further into it this year. I think JJ Weatherholt will be nice though. The Reds, I was higher on them until the injuries started catching up. I like that they brought back Eugenio Suarez though. That's cool. And when they're healthy, they have a pretty good rotation. The Brewers have a weakened roster. They traded their best pitcher, but they're the Brewers. They're going to find a way to somehow win 90 games. I have learned so over the last few years to not pick against the Brewers. So I have them in second. The Cubs, similar to the Mets, I think they're the most well-rounded roster, top to bottom. I think we saw how great Daniel Palencia can be in the World Baseball Classic. He's filthy. Lineup, they lost Kyle Tucker. They gained Alex Bregman. They also added Edward Cabrera to the rotation. So the Cubs are going to be good this year. And I think they're good enough to, if you wouldn't believe it, claim their first full season division title since 2017.
Man, yeah, that still feels weird to say. Let's go into mine here. And it's really funny to think about how many similarities there are between the AL Central and the NL Central. Two teams that are competing for the top, two teams that are competing for the bottom, and then there's the middle team that you just kind of put there because you have to. Here, the Cardinals rebuilding, don't care. The Pirates added some pieces here, and they're still not great here. Again, very much similar to the Twins and White Sox. The top two teams, then, I just can't bet against the Brewers at this point. Like, again, kind of like the same argument with the Rays and also with the Guardians. Their team, nice. Breaking, Luis Reyes has a 4-pitch walk. Fantastic. Anyway, I can't bet against them. As much as, yes, they've gotten weaker, I don't know if it's enough because they find ways to win with the power of friendship, it feels like at this point. The Cubs, I will say, are the better team. They absolutely are. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. The Reds, I think, are good, but they're not quite at the echelon of I'm a really good team and I win through magic yet. But they're better than Paul Skeen and Friend, and Cardinals are there, I think, here. So that's where my reasoning goes for this. Let's move on then over anyone. Oh, yeah, we need to say anything more with the Central. All right, we'll go into my NL West. Rockies, they're there, I think. The Giants are an interesting team to where I think they could make some noise potentially, but I just have too many questions. The bullpen questions. Every hitter basically feels like questions. Diamondbacks are also very full of questions, but I feel like they have at least a few more answers to work with here than the Giants do. The Padres, I think, are another strong team. They have a lot going for them, pitching-wise, hitting-wise. It's about whether or not can they overcome what the Dodgers have done, and the answer to that question is no, because it's really hard to do that, especially considering that the Dodgers got even stronger somehow. Here, they now have a bona fide solid closer. They now have even more hitting. They now have everything more. So it's like, what more do you want? What more? They legitimately are the embarrassment of riches. There's not much more else to say about this.
Yeah,
Mac, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go next here because I think we figured out who's winning the division here. And who isn't winning the division? Sorry, Rockies. The Rockies, I don't know if they'll lose 119 games this year, but they're going to lose a lot. It's similar to the White Sox last year. I don't know if you could get any worse. The Giants, just the definition of mediocrity. I'm just going to be honest. They don't do anything particularly great. They don't do anything particularly poorly. So they're, another 500 ball club. The Diamondbacks offense is talented. Their pitching staff leaves a lot to be desired, especially the bullpen. Boy, God save your bullpen, guys. Who's the closer? Jonathan Loaisiga this year. And then we have a team with a great bullpen and not a great rotation. The Padres. I mean, Mason Miller, Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon. That's a super talented back into the bullpen. It could be the best in baseball by some measures. The lineup is top heavy. I think Tatis is going to have a monster year. I think you can still get solid numbers from Machado, but I think obviously the Dodgers are winning this division probably by 15 games. I mean, it's not going to be particularly close. You'll probably see like a brief cold stretch in May, and then they'll rattle off like 50 wins in 55 games. So the Dodgers, yeah, this is not a conversation.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. The Giants are making the playoffs, boys. The Rockies, they're going to be the most improved team in baseball and the worst team in baseball.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's crazy. Arizona, where's the pitching? Also, honestly, it's not even the pitching that originally I had Arizona at second and I moved them down when I was doing the graphics today. Nolan Arenado, you're washed, buddy. That's the only reason. That's my reasoning for moving.
I almost forgot he was there. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He is so washed. I moved them down 2 spots because I think he's just washed. Ketel Marte, he's going to finish like 8th in MVP. Congratulations. San Diego, where's the starters? And I like the starters more than the average person. I like Pivetta and King and yeah. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Waldron, hope your hemorrhoids are going better. True story.
Knuckleballs.
He does throw a knuckleball.
I don't love the lineup, to be honest. Okay, Tatis, great. Machado, fine. Merrill, whatever. Beyond that, I don't love it. You lose Rise, you bring in Castellanos, and you're hoping that Ramon Laureano is really, really good. I don't know. Okay, you're banking on Gavin Sheets again. You're banking on Freddie Fermin. I don't know. I don't love it. The Giants, I think they have enough pitching and they have a pretty deep lineup. They're playing right now. Arise, I like the fit in San Francisco. I know I've been in Arise opposite of a truther, but I like the fit in San Francisco. Maybe he'll draw a few extra walks. I don't love him playing defense, but we'll get to that.
Having him play second base is scary.
Matt Chapman, he's really good. Rafi Devers, he's really good. Adames, good. Lee in a corner, good. Ramos, I think he'll be better. Schmidt, I don't know why he's playing first base. Why isn't Bryce Eldridge in? I know it's against a tough lefty. I don't really care. Patrick Bailey, best defender in baseball with PCA. Harrison Bader, another excellent defender. Maybe he'll hit some. I hope he doesn't have his Phillies mojo. I hope he plays more like a Cardinal. And what I mean by that is in Philly, he was kind of trying to launch because Citizens Bank is a bit of a launching pad. San Francisco, not a launching pad. So just more of the line drive approach, base running. I think that'll work, and I think the Giants make the playoffs. Speaking of, bang! I have the Dodgers as the 1 seed, Metropolitans as the 2, Cabarinos as the 3, Phillies as the 4, Brewers as the 5, and the Giants as the 6.
Okay. I can see it. I absolutely can see it. I will say I disagree on the Giants pick, but that's
yes, you do.
That's honestly, I like your reasoning. I understand it.
All right, Alex, here's your graphic.
Yeah, my graphic time. It's 2 from each division here. My number 1 seed being the Dodgers, the Mets taking the number 2 seed, and the Brewers taking the 3 seed here. And then I have the Phillies getting the 4th, with the Padres being the 5th, and then the Cubs being the 6th. I'm a little bit lower on the Cubs than a lot of people are here, but that does not mean that I don't think that they are going to do well.
Yeah, and then we'll move on along to mine. I also have the Dodgers as the 1 seed, Mets as the 2 seed, Cubs as the 3 seed. And then I have the Brewers as the 4 seed, Padres as the 5 seed, Braves snagging the wild card 3. They're the 6 seed.
You like to go into your playoffs, McCorkle?
Yeah, sure. Let's roll right into it. I got the Brewers downing the Padres, Cubs down in the Braves. Let's move along. The Mets down the Cubs. Dodgers obliterate the Brewers, much like they did in the NLCS. And then, unfortunately, I have the Dodgers winning the pennant again. Will Smith had a big World Series last year. I think he'll have a big NLCS, and he will win NLCS MVP.
All right, Alex, your turn, buddy.
All right, here we go. So in the NL wildcard, I have the Phillies overtaking the Padres 2-1, and then I have the Cubs beating the Brewers here. So maybe I wasn't as low on the Cubs as I was saying here. I don't know. It's just fun like that. Anyway, then we have the Dodgers who do go to battle with the Phillies here, but they do come out ahead 3-2, and then the Mets stomp the Cubs here 3-2. So I also have the Mets and Dodgers in the NLCS, but I have the Mets.
Oh, interesting.
Here, and here's the big thing. I see what happens when these two teams clash, and it's a lot closer than people like to have it be. Well, here's the thing. I think the Mets pull it out on this one. The Mets are going to win this one, only giving away 1 game to the Dodgers. Lindor is your NLCS MVP.
I love the confidence here.
I must admit, I'm tired of rooting for the Dodgers in the playoffs. Can the other National League teams figure it out, please?
Yeah, please.
I don't know about that one.
All right. I have the Phillies sweeping the Brewers and the Cubs knocking off the Giants.
Cubs.
I have the Phillies beating the Dodgers. They almost did it last year.
Wow. High man on the Cubs this year.
Yeah. I have the Cubs beating the Mets. I think
the Cubs are great. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Game 3, Game 4 at Wrigley. That would be electric. I have the Chicago Cubs on the 10-year anniversary of their 2016 team. I have them going to the World Series, knocking off the Phillies. But I have them losing in the World Series to the New York Yankees, and Arson Judge gets his ring. He gets his one shining moment, and he once again wins an MVP that Cal Raleigh does not have.
All right,
I'm pretty sure your entire character on this show is just piss off Alex.
Speaking of Alex,
let's go into mine then. I have the Mariners winning against the Dodgers. Wait, no, I didn't have the Dodgers. Wait, I had the Mets. Didn't I have the Mets? Yeah, I had the Mets.
Yeah, you had the Mets.
My bad.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter.
One mistake. One mistake in the whole.
Another absolute battle. 4 games to 3. It will come down to the last one here, where Seattle has the home field advantage. It will be bottom of the 9th inning. Cal Raleigh hits the game-winning home run after having a very strong playoff series. Anyway, he will be your World Series MVP, and Seattle finally gets the monkey off their back of being the only team to never make it to the World Series. And in their first time, they go 1-0.
So I also have the Mariners, but God, I really did not want to pick this outcome, but The Dodgers are going to win the World Series again. They're going to three-peat. And Shohei Ohtani will have the World Series performance of a lifetime. He's going to ball out on the mound. He's going to hit a few home runs, and they're going to win the World Series. Hopefully I'm wrong here.
Okay. Shall we advance to our awards?
Let's move on to
let's do it.
Let's do these also. With a bit
All right,
of
Mac,
haste.
here's your AL finalists.
Yeah,
I'll go through our finalists. So here's Max.
Yeah, so my finalists, I have Aaron Judge, Julio Rodriguez, and Bobby Witt Jr.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, my finalists, I have Aaron Judge, Julio Rodriguez, and Tarek Skubal.
Interesting.
Right. And I have Roman Anthony, Aaron Judge, and Julio Rodriguez, with Julio Rodriguez finally figuring out how to play baseball in the first half. Good job, buddy. I'll go Julio 1, Judge 2, Anthony 3, Witt 4.
That's fair. Yep.
I really wanted to put Roman Anthony in my top 3.
But your top 3 is?
So yeah, I have Bobby Witt Jr. Winning, Julio Rodriguez coming in second, Aaron Judge coming in third. I also heavily considered just having Julio win. Also, I want to shout out Nick Kurtz. I really wanted to put Big Amish in here, but I limited it to these 3 and have Witt finally getting his own MVP.
That's fair, yeah. So with me, I have Julio winning it here again. So just like Splash does here, I have Judge finishing second, Skubal finishing third after a monster pitching year, with Witt finishing fourth.
All right, and that'll take us right into our Cy Youngs for Alex.
Yeah, so my Cy Young finalists, I have Garrett Crochet, Logan Gilbert, and Tarek Skubal. If anything based on what I did for the MVP says anything, you might know who I picked here.
All right, and this is not a glitch. Mac, here's yours.
Wow. I'm honestly shocked here. We have the exact same finalists, Alex.
Let's go!
Garrett Crochet, Logan Gilbert, and Tarek Skubal.
Legendary.
Good deal like that. All right, and then I have Dylan Cease, Garrett Crochet, and Max Fried.
What?
Interesting. I didn't expect those other 2 on there.
I was not expecting. Yeah.
So we have one commonality here.
Well, are we expecting the unexpected here?
I mean, maybe.
He finally gets it done. He finally gets it done. I'm truthfully not the biggest Dylan Cease guy, but I think Toronto has the best defense in the world. I think they could have a platinum glove level catcher, second baseman, shortstop, and center fielder. And Dylan Cease, when he's not striking guys out, he is subject to some wild runs in BABIP. In 22 and 24, he had a BABIP under 270. He finished second and fourth in Cy Young voting those seasons. The other 2 years, he had a BABIP over 320. He was not very good at preventing runs. I think he will have a BABIP at like 250. I think the Blue Jays will make a lot of outs, and Dylan Cease will strike 200 guys out, and he'll have a 2-something ERA and win the Cy Young.
Interesting.
All
right, Mac, who's your selection?
I have a lefty. I have Garrett Crochet stopping the Skubal 3-peat. I got Skubal coming in second, Gilbert coming in third.
Fair enough. Yeah,
right,
I absolutely get it. Yeah, so I also went with a lefty here, but my lefty is Tarek Skubal. I think he gets a 3-peat because he is just absolutely that good. Here, Garrett Crochet finishes second, Logan Gilbert gets third.
All right. The Yankees are all over the Giants right now.
Gabby got some work done, so we'd love to see that.
Yeah. All right, my World Series champions looking good so far. All right, I'm gonna hop over to my Rookie of the Year. My battle between Samuel Basayo, Munetaki Murakami, and Carson Williams.
I wasn't expecting these 3 to be there. I've Chase DeLauder, Connolly Early, and Kevin McGonigal.
And Alex.
Yep, I have Colt Emerson, Kevin McGonigal, and and Okamoto.
With
Oh yeah, wait, no. Yeah, I have Okamoto actually winning this one.
With Ronald Acuna, amazing.
Oh my gosh. Ronald Acuna gets his eligibility back. He gets the red shirt of eligibility. Anyway, I think Okamoto's going to have a great year. And I think that he'll finish one. McGonigal will get second, and Colt Emerson will come up midway through the year and absolutely wreck shop, and we'll get third.
All right.
Yep. All right.
Pat.
Yeah. I have Kevin McGonigal winning with Chase DeLauder coming in second and Connolly Early coming in third. I think I can say it on both sides. Great rookie class.
Yeah, true.
McGonigal, he's just been so impressive. I think he'll be more major league ready at the plate. I think he'll be more major league ready. Plus, I really like him at shortstop.
True.
All right. And I have Munetaka Murakami grabbing the dub here. To me, the value here is he's on the White Sox. The Orioles will be trying to contend. The Tigers will be trying to contend. The Red Sox, Guardians, every other team in the American League essentially will be trying to contend. The White Sox should be content to give Murakami 600 plate appearances for him to hit 30 home runs, drive 100 RBI, and be a slightly above average hitter. He's going to have some ebbs and flows because of the quality of contact. The ability to make contact, I don't know if it's there or not, but I think he'll make enough loud contact to, do some things. And, the Yankees are just annihilating the Giants right now. So exciting times. All right. We move on to the National League. My MVP finalists, Pete Crow Armstrong, Jackson Churio, and Shohei Ohtani. Alex.
My MVP finalists, I have Acuna with Ohtani, and hey, it might seem a little bit familiar here to my AL MVP finalists. I have a pitcher in Paul Skeens.
Wow. I have such a hard time putting straight up pitchers in my finalists, but I could see both those guys being finalists. All right, let's move into mine. I feel like no surprises here. Ronald Acuna Jr., Shohei Ohtani, and Juan Soto.
All right. Would you like to proceed?
Yes, and winning the franchise's first ever MVP, I have Juan Soto. Shohei Ohtani will come in second, and Acuna will come in third.
All right, Alex.
All right. Until they change the name of the award, it will be Shohei Ohtani, with Acuna finishing second and Paul Skeens finishing third. He's the most valuable player.
And I agree with you. I have Ohtani 1, PCA 2, Churio 3.
I'll be honest, I partially picked Soto just so that we didn't all have Shohei.
I respect it.
Fair. And it's a running bit. It's like Alex picking the Mariners to win the World Series.
I've done it, I think, only the last 3 years.
Yeah, I think Mac has picked Soto. I know he picked him last year.
Fair enough.
I picked him last year, yeah.
Yep.
I had the same MVP picks this year, I'm pretty sure.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
All right, my Cy Young picks. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off because Logan Webb's already allowed 5 earned runs today.
Well, takes that age poorly. Take one. Action.
Man, okay. My argument was that, ground ball guy, but he struck out more batters last year. He led the National League. He had his highest K per 9 of his career. And I thought, shortstop defense is great. Third base defense is great. The Giants are going to have a little bit of a better year. And maybe has some better BABIP luck. Because he was like a 347 BABIP last year. And if it's more like a 300 BABIP, he's a ground ball guy. It's going to be a little higher, maybe 305 or something. But 5 earned runs against the Yankees on opening day. Great start, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Mac.
Yeah, I got So I Paul Skeens, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Freddie Peralta, I have Paul Skeens winning second in a row. I could probably pick Paul Skeens for like a number of years in a row, but yeah, Skeens is going to beat these two guys pretty handily.
Alex.
Yeah. And for me, no surprises here. It's Paul Skeens. It's the same argument with Scooble. Until someone proves that someone is better than him, he will keep winning the award.
All right. And your NL Rookie of the Year finalists.
Yeah, my NL Rookie, I have Connor Griffin, Nolan McLean, and JJ Weatherholt. Also, if you haven't seen the video of him getting sold you, hey, you're starting the year on the team, go do it. It's worth the watch.
Yeah.
All right. Mac.
Yeah, I have the same 3 finalists. I wish Connor Griffin was opening the year on the Pittsburgh roster like McGonigal is, but for the Tigers. But yeah, I have the same 3.
And then I have some changes here. I have Justin Crawford,
guys. Wow, interesting.
Connor Griffin, and Sal Stewart. And my National League Rookie of the Year is Justin Crawford. I like the profile. I know it's ground ball heavy, but it's opposite field ground balls. And he's really fast. And he should be fine in center. So I think the WAR profile will be good with Griffin not coming up on opening day. I have a hard time picking pitchers. It's not a McLean issue. It's just a pitcher issue. So yeah, Justin Crawford.
I will say also the shot that you have here for Justin Crawford is an incredible face. I just gotta say that is a face that oozes like charisma. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Mac. Who you got?
All right. Yeah, I got Nolan McLean winning, and JJ Weatherholt coming in second, and Connor Griffin coming in third.
And Alex.
Yeah, one of these has major league experience, and one pitched for Team USA in the final game. This is Nolan McLean. He's winning it.
All right. So those are our awards and all of our playoff predictions. Drop a comment if you disagree. If you agree, if you think all of us are going to be right somehow, some way, all of us, every single pick is going to be right. Co-MVPs, that could happen.
It can, yeah, absolutely can.
If you disagree, let us know. XYZ Ballin. I liked your Giants. I know the other two guys didn't.
Sorry,
but,
mate.
fellas, are you ready to play some Uno?
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah, let's.
It's
All right,
back.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Our second anniversary. All right. So the rules here. I have the 2025 MLB opening day lineups pulled up. All 30 teams, catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left, center, right, pitcher, and DH. You must make a string of players connecting player to player. And your ways of connecting players are same position. So, for example, 2008, you could go Alex Rodriguez and Chipper Jones, two third basemen.
Okay.
You can connect same team. So back to 2008, you can go Andrew Jones to Andre Ethier. And your third, the funky rule here, two players with the same last name, you can go between them. So 2008 example, you can go Chipper Jones to Andrew Jones.
Sounds good.
All right. Mac, you won last year, so you may go first. Pick any player that started on opening day last year.
All right. Luis Angel Acuna.
That would be correct. Mets second base. Alex.
Mets second base. I'm going to then go with another Mets, say Juan Soto.
Okay, Juan Soto would be correct for right field. Mets.
All right. I'll go with Luis Torrens.
Luis Torrens, Mets catcher.
He was the catcher for that?
Alvarez was injured, yep.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to, you know what, have fun here. We'll go Cal Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh, Mariners catcher.
Okay. I am going to go with I'll go with Randy Arozarena.
Randy Arozarena, Mariners left fielder.
Okay. All right, I'm going to break the joke here a little bit, and I'm going to say Heliot Ramos, left field for the Giants.
That would be correct.
Because there was a graphic today that he broke the trend of a different left fielder starting every year since like 2007.
That's right.
The Barry Bonds Spurs.
Yep.
The Barry Bonds.
All right.
Yeah.
So Heliot Ramos, left fielder for the Giants.
Okay, I'll go. I got to do some thinking for a second. I'll go with Patrick Bailey.
Patrick Bailey, Giants catcher.
Okay. So last year here, I'm going to go with Jung-Hoo Lee.
Young-Hoo Lee.
Sorry,
Giants center fielder.
Center fielder. Okay. I'm trying to like find a team that we haven't covered yet. I think this guy was the opening day center fielder for them. I'm gonna take a risk here. Man, now I'm stuck. You know what? I'll go with Julio Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez, Mariners center fielder.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to go with. Pretty sure he was. Okay, now I'm like actually trying to. We've already said a Rosarena. I don't think he was injured at the start of last year. I'm gonna say J.P. Crawford.
That would be Mariners shortstop J.P. Crawford.
He's injured this year, not last year though.
All right. I'm gonna go to Houston then. Jeremy Pena.
Jeremy Pena, Astros shortstop.
Okay. Shortstop with the Astros. Let's say Christian Walker.
Christian Walker, Astros first base.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go to the Yankees. I believe their first baseman was Paul Goldschmidt.
That would be correct. Goldie at first.
All right, cool. I'm moving to Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, Yankees right fielder.
Yeah, he was all right. I'm going to go back to the Astros. Right fielder was Cam Smith.
Yeah, that would be correct. Cam Smith, right fielder.
Major league debut.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. If we're back on the Astros, I'm trying to remember if he was on this, if he wasn't hurt at the start of last year. Here, I'm going to say Yordan.
Yordan Alvarez, Astros DH.
All right. I'm trying to remember what position guys played. That's the thing. Who was DHing where? It's like, yeah. All right, this might be wrong, and if I lose here, I lose here. Josh Naylor. He was either DHing or playing first, and I feel like he made. Yeah,
you're out.
First.
It was Randall Grichuk. Arizona DH. Congratulations, nice. Alex.
Yeah!
You answer back. Last year you got skunked. This year you pull out the dub.
Let's go.
All right. So before we go, some fun names for your naming pleasure. There were 2 Amayas.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, Miguel Amaya. Yeah.
Yeah, Miguel and Jacob Amaya was the White Sox opening day shortstop.
Well, it says a lot about your roster.
It does. There were 3 lows. Well, 2 lows.
Low.
Yeah.
Low.
Some notable starters. Clay Holmes, opening day starter.
That's right.
Yeah. Jose Barrios, of all the Blue Jays' wonderful pitchers.
Gilbert, the opening day starter last year for the Seattle?
It was Logan Gilbert.
Okay, cool.
Ben Lively for the Guardians.
Ben Lively? Oh my God, wow. I forgot about that.
Ryan Kreidler started in center field for the Tigers. Now a Met, MJ Melendez was left fielder for the Royals.
Left fielder, yeah.
Austin Slater, John Kenzie Noel. Mike Trout started in right field. Kevin Pillar, center fielder for the Texas Rangers.
That's right, and then he retired.
Yeah, I remember
that. Jared Kelnick, right fielder for the Barbs.
That's right.
And if you can believe it, Jurickson Profar did get the opening day start and left before he got suspended.
See, I couldn't remember if he had been suspended already.
No. Nick Martini had back-to-back starts. Last year it was the Reds. In 2025 it was the Rockies. So, some fun names around the diamond. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, opening day shortstop.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I love that trivia segment. It's a fun time. Even though I got destroyed last year, I made up for it this year.
Yeah, you did.
Here. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our show. Normally we have the moment to ourselves. We're cutting it here because we need to allow for time here. But thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you go follow us here on social media. You can go and follow us, the conglomerate of LAR at LAR_baseball. You can go follow me at SportsGuy242. You can go follow Mac at Mathias_A_K. And you can go follow Splash at Mrs. Splashman19. Well, from all of us here at Losses Where Place, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy opening day. Baseball season is here, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. And I hope to see you all real soon.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! It's a home run!